It is sound like bomb. Okay, this is the first time in all this webinar that we will talk about the real reason and a real motivation for me why we do have importance of such practices in our spiritual life. Now, you can try and you can learn everything that we talked until today without any problems. You just need time and patience. But let us say that you learn how to fly, to teleport yourself, to perform each technique that can bring you into the lucid dream. And what then? How you will use it in your life for your benefit? Is there any way you can use it for your benefit? This is the questions that you need to ask yourself, not only regarding the lucid dreaming and what we are calling out-of-body experience, but in fact any experience in your life. If you have a wife 30 years, no matter how much you think you love her, you always need to ask yourself, is this person for me? No matter how much time you spent earlier, that time don't need to be method of your slavery to change something for good or for bad. That will depend on your wisdom and your intelligence. No matter how convinced that something it's not good for you or is something is good for you, you always need to check, is it still good for you? Some meditations that you perform in your youth that you find unusable can be life-changing for you today. Hello, Chad. And opposite, something which simply you think it was important for your life and for your ceremonial magic, now it is simply, how to say, overcome. You are adult, not so much young, to believe in fairy tale stories. So this kind of introspection needs to come with each day of your life. For each life of each moment of that life needs to be checked. Are you familiar with the motives and the reason of action? Why I'm telling you all this? Because it is not so much connected with our plan. You will reach a point in your lucid dreaming and scrying experiments and journeys outside of your body. You will reach a barrier where you will not be able to cross. You will need quantity change as long as quality change. You need to break on to the other side. And you will not know how to do. You will waste days, months, years in my life without breaching the logic point of impossible. No matter how you will convinced that you will explore whole universe in a lucid dreaming, still you will know that it is all inside of your head. So there is only a question of time when you will ask yourself, what the fuck I'm wasting a time for that? What I'm doing at all? If you ask yourself that same question for all other aspects of your life, such as, I have a job, why I'm doing this job at all? Or I have a kids, I have everything that I think I have, but in fact I don't need that at all. And probably you will end your life killing yourself, knowing that you spare whole life in misery and wasting your precious time. But the sooner the better you understand that the quality of experience, it's much of such importance than quantity. No matter how much hours did you spend in lucid dreaming, if you didn't spare a moment for your final realization and what we call enlightenment in that lucid dream doesn't serve a purpose. No matter how wonderful you will feel in everything that we will later talk, and we will continue to talk because there is an infinite subjects of different techniques and what I can teach you, but we will reach a point where we will waste our time. Even for this, for me, it is wasting your time. You want to travel to some other parts of the universe, but you missed only one important part of the universe which you indeed need for your final realization, and that is you. You're expecting to discover out-of-body experience which will be excuse for you not knowing this body experience or this self experience, if you want. Take care not to fall into that trap. Expecting for traveling all around the world will give you something more beneficial than knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is your final destination and your ultimate travel point. No matter how much you think it is far away, it is not far away. It is in a moment, not in a space. We talked about it earlier, so I will not waste your time anymore on this bullshit. We stopped last time speaking about exactly how we can use lucid dreaming for spiritual experience. So we can stop talking about flying, translocating, everything which have to do with physical appearances and physical senses. No matter how wonderful they are, no matter how far you will travel in a space, that experience will not change the experience of the universe inside of you. You need something different. Well, this talking today will be about that different. First of all, I want you to speak about a method which I discovered totally by chance. Maybe I have luck, maybe it's something else, but I will tell you something which I find out that works for me as a way out of all the labyrinths and wasting not years, decades in my life. You see, I am more familiar with lucid dreaming and astral realm than any other parts in my own town, because I waste and I step out of my body not for hours, not for days, but now during all these 30 years, all in general, I visit astral plane more than, all traveling points in my life. All summer vacations, winter vacations, no matter how wonderful were they, the more I was in astral plane. And simply, I must admit, I really start to ask myself, is that it? Is that all which the wonderful books are telling me with totally nonsense stories? But is that it? Because it is. It is. Maybe it's not so much wonderful. I reach the point I meet everything that I need to meet. I travel almost all coordinates that I could think in my head. And what did I get? Really? I have the same love in my life, the same luck, joy, happiness, misery, everything that I have with or without this wonderful experience. So I ask myself, if I cannot implement and transfer all that knowledge of my lucid dream and astral projection into this world, then I am not worth of any more seconds to being lucid in my dreams. And when I decide that, I will tell you now how and what I make discoveries which I never read anywhere, nor I talked to most of people that I know that have lucid dreaming, and most of them are, how to say, on the edge of my reasoning. I don't have, no matter how, you see how I'm rational, I'm not mambo jumbo type of a guy who wants to take your money, to take your time, to take my time telling you bullshit. No, I'm just speaking whatever I think which is true, I will tell you. Without any wrapping and, you know, the bullshit and this is very nice, this is, you look so nice, you're so beautiful. No, I will tell you exactly what I feel, no matter how hard it is for me to tell you. So, I don't have a rational explanation for most of things that I will talk about it. And I really need your attention in next 4 hours, because the main essence of all teachings that we did is nothing compared to what I will tell you today, and maybe in the next week, depending how much I will able to speak all this nonsense language in foreign language. First, I reach a point in lucid dreaming when I discover that no matter how skillful I am, and I am skillful, I cannot prolong lucid dreaming infinitely. There is a border where the claritness of the lucid dream was, when achieved at a time, it will only become weaker and weaker. And there is a catch with, remember, with touching yourself, how can you increase clarity? But sooner or later, any dream which started is doomed to awakening. There is no way you can reach a part of a dream where you can stay forever, doing everything that you want. There is no way. Also, your experience of tactical, visual, and auditor illusion will gradually weaken, so you can, in the end, simply return to your body with your physical senses, which will, how to say, over-volumed all what you experience in a dream even a few seconds before. I will bring myself maybe 20 years ago, maybe more. This is a book which is sold in my country, which is called Reincarnation. Totally imbecile book for those type of guys who really think that you can travel in a time-space continuum. You know, typical trance meditation stuff, exploring the imagination, visions, very weak, very shallow, without any depths of understanding. Just 5 techniques for exploring your incarnations, previous incarnations. And I like this kind of book. Very practical, without any reason to to have success, but this kind of books give me a motivational push, so I can change the practice, adopt them, and play with my own imagination, starting with these techniques. It is very short. The author is John Brennan, the author of many magical instructions in that period, as an astral projection. There is Apprentice in Magic, and all that kind of headlight. And there is a exercise which is called, I don't know exactly, something like spiritual library. And you need, I like this exercise very much because I was very good with my imagination even as a teenager, and I started to read this as a teenager. Remember that because it will be very important. The main practice was that each day for 5 to 15 minutes you are imagining yourself in some library that you are inventing, each day building more and more details and space parts of that library. A library in which you'll eventually find a book where you can read about your past incarnations. Even in those times I knew that that part was specially about to failure because it doesn't have any logical sense. Even in that time I knew the mechanism of getting the scrying visions and everything, but I like this exercise like some cartoon movie in my childhood. I don't know what is it that attracts me to that very simple exercise, but I like to do it. Even today I have my diary from that time. This is my magical diary from my middle school. You see my handwriting, it's very different. Of course you don't know my handwriting, but nevertheless very different than today. Very enthusiastic. I was very positive about my occult life, thinking that I will be happy magician with all the wealth and healthy in the world. And I work maybe, how to say, few months building my astral library. I imagining my astral library in totally minimalistic way, without any baroque and old, ornaments, very minimalistic. Inside was black marble with black portals, without any tapestry in the floor nor on the ceiling. Everything black. And it was, let me show you, it was a black cube in the center of a desert, surrounded by blackness of the sand and wasteness of the desert, with the sun, always sun in the nadir part of the sky, and it was always very warm, like some Egypt Mediterranean atmosphere. And I don't know why I built it in such a way, because the main instructions were you need not to copy any other library, but you need to invent something that you want and that you need to have as your landscape, inner landscape. And in that time, I built my practice with billions of other practices. And I do this practice for a few months and I stop, because I changed and took some other books which for my teenage period was totally okay. I didn't have girlfriend, I didn't want to have anything to do with love, sex, drugs, anything. I just wanted to read, to practice, to read, and anything else in my life was totally waste of time. My practices now, in that time, when I read how much, let me just, Tuesday have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full pages. In short, maybe 4 to 5 hours per day. Not only lucid, just to be straight, but in general. But why I am this telling you? Very important. In one way, I forget about this little practice. Maybe 10 years ago, when I move myself into another apartment. You know, when you move yourself, the books and bookshelves is the worst part of changing the location of your apartment. And I leave that for the end of the day. And all books I put in carton boxes. And when I move to another apartment, I wait a couple of days so I can put them back on the shelves, because I take very important on which part of a bookshelf the books will be. If I have a wrong one books, then it's not good. I need to have exactly the same, I don't know in English, procedure of books in my bookshelf so I can be happy. And I forget one little box, the last box of the books, which I put very small books, because that box was very, very different in shape, very narrow. And when I pull all books, which are final rest for me, I found this book, which I totally forget. And you know, the child energy in you, when you see something from your past, which was very important in that time, my heart starts to beat a lot. And I ask myself, man, let me use my inner temple, inner library, for travel destination of my teleport. Let me see how this library now looks in my lucid dream. I never went to that astral library because I invent months and months in my imagination, and surely there is a part of my lucid consciousness which still exists in the realm of the dream. And everything was set up for my next lucid dreaming attempt. What I did, first, I wrote in my action plan, remember, without that, nothing. I wrote in my action plan, I will go to my astral library. Now, I'm calling not astral library, I'm calling this location my inner temple, because I named that name in my youth, so I will use it in my way, but it is astral library. I call it my inner temple. I went to the bed, giving my instructions. In that time, I had success at almost 100%. Of course, there is a time when, and you will see, no matter how skillful you will be, you will always have failures. Don't worry. There is nobody who will have 100% success in lucid dreaming. There is no way. And I remember the method that I used was the best which I discovered for teleportation. And what I'm doing, when I doing the rocking motion, and when I fall on the ground, when I start to touch and palpate surfaces in the blackness of the void, I am imagining that the door of my sleeping room, in one side is a door of my living room, but on the other side I'm putting a spin, I'm a toss, that I know that it will become a corridor of a destination that I want to come. The same door occupy two different realities. So when I touched the door, I knew that I am not only touching the door of my room, I am touching the door of my destination on the other side. And I imagined that I will pull the door of my astral temple, black cube in the desert. And when I close the door, starting to rub my hands, and I have in that time my favorite way of clarification of a vision, I'm starting to take a breath over my palms, like I want to warm myself, and I will start to paint the vision of my astral temple. And that is exactly what started to happen. I was so happy when I saw the real contours of astral temple, which I finally, after all these decades, see before my own eyes. Not as an imagination, but like I'm seeing you now, even more real, with more depthness, color. I remember the smell of that marble, like basements of a building. I sense something mystical, like the magic is waiting for me all these decades. It was my temple waiting for me. I was so happy that I think for now it is maybe the most wonderful experience in my whole spiritual journey that I'm having all this time. Nothing special, but for me it was special. And everything that I will talk is something which I found out very, very soon. And that when I was in that space, I waited seconds watching in one place so I can return to my body and write everything as soon as possible, because I was so much happy that I want to break experience so I will not be able to forget it. It was so special. I wanted to return to my body as soon as possible so I can report everything, and so I can go outside and eat something, so I can celebrate with myself this important part of my journey. But no matter how much I fix the point in any lucid dreaming, I would start for dream to fall apart very soon. And you know what? Nothing was happening. I wanted to be returned to my body. I started to pinch my body, and my body starting to feel so much pain, but without any returning to the body, which usually it's a shortcut so you can return to your body. I will show you very wonderful trick. If you have any doubt, if you are in a dream or in a real world, start to breathe. When you pinch your nose, start to breathe through the nose. If you are in a physical body, there will be no chance. But in a dream, when you pinch your nose, you will be able still to breathe through the nose, because your reactive mind have importance of taking care about you. So it will think that you want to kill yourself. And no matter what, priority of survival will be on more higher priority as a command than the command that you don't want to breathe. No matter how much you think or you need to know you are in dream or real world, just try this little trick and it will show you without any problem that you are in physical realm or in a lucid dream. Except this one case. In my astral temple, I pitch my nose and I start to breathe, and I couldn't. My lungs stopped. And I start to think, maybe I teleport myself for real and now I'm stuck in my astral library. I could not be back to my physical body. Exactly what I'm speaking about last time. Remember when I say no way you go far away, you will always be able to return. But in this case, it is exception. It was so real dream that it was indeed exactly as a physical realm. I even think that that was not lucid dream at all, that I teleport my physical body out to my astral temple. I was convinced because I do all check, I even measure my pulse. Everything was like in physical world. I started to pinch me, to bite me. I feel normal pain. I saw even, you know, the red circles when you bite yourself. I saw the red circles, which was simply impossible in a lucid dream. I was stunned. I was either teleporting my physical body or I reach a part of an astral realm which I never experienced before. All my belief about the lucid dream was destroyed because finally I achieved something which I never experienced before, which don't have any reasoning. How is it possible? I started to count time. How much time? Sorry. I waiting for minutes to pass. I stare in a one close fixating point, wanting the lucid dream to crash, and it is not crashing. Minutes and minutes. I started to do all other exercise like flying, transmuting. I remember in few minutes I imagining that I have a fire breath like a dragon, and momentarily in that time I felt electricity in my jaw and I saw a flame which burned my tongue. I was like a child fulfilling its desires. Finally, I have something real, but not real in my philosophical way. Real for real, without any doubt that it will change my understanding of what lucid dreaming is and where that border was. No matter how was I convinced that I traveled to all places in a lucid dream, this was new. And the normal question in me asks, if this is something new, how far from that can I go even further? How deeper I can go? Even if I change something so stupid like this. So, let me spare you an hours and hours of talking how wonderful and what I did. I, by chance, totally by chance, discover important law of a lucid dream, which without this, how to say, sideway idea that I should visit something which is a fake memory of mine, I think about next law. When you think about something which is existing in a real world, like in memory, when you want to remember where did you spend last New Year, you will remember something about physical locations that you were. And when you want to visit that in a lucid dream, you will activate one part of a brain who is charged for that kind of memory. If you want to go to Jupiter, even if you never went to Jupiter, even if you don't know how location looks in a real time, then you will go and you will activate a different kind of a brain which will give you something which is unreal, meaning that you know that it is not existing. It is existing only in your head. If you want to go to time travel, let me say 20,000 years ago, you don't know what happened in that time. You just want to see that time without any historical information. So your mind is starting to build a scenery rather different than the first idea was. But the third options, when you are thinking about something which don't exist at all, and only you know that don't exist, but you are remembering about it when it was in that time it was existing, like a fake memory. There is a third part of the brain, like your brain now don't know which part it wants to start, and it will give some part which you never activate in any occasions, giving you so wonderful experience that like a part of a program which never ran before. Very fast, very deep, and very strong. Now, everybody of you has in childhood some favorite hero, superhero, some cartoon which you felt it was pleasant to you. Something like, how to say, fairy tale fantasy to you. Sometimes it was a character, a hero. Sometimes it was just a scenery, location. I don't know. Maybe a toy set which you used, which was favorite to you. Now, if you want to remember about that in your lucid dream, you will reach a point where everything will be so twisted that, believe me, you will need a couple of days to recover yourself from such kind of experience. Now, since this is a practical webinar, I need to show you what all this bullshit means, because I'm speaking 45 minutes and this is all nice, but how can you practically work with everything that I talk? So you can check either I'm telling the truth or lie. There is a way. My astral library was very, very small. In fact, no matter how big it is in a desert, once when I'm inside, it is small. I have only 4, how to say, walls, black walls, with a table where I can find that book about reincarnations, which I deleted now from my astral scenery at all, because I invent something other. I have ceilings, I have floors, and that's it. But I started to check what will happen, and I drew this. Each day I was imagining and playing with my imagination like it was a construction plan for my new apartment. This was that central room. I will show you later everything in detail. This was my sleeping room, and you will see the same door which will lead from my sleeping room directly to my astral temple. So I will not waste time for teleportation, even in the period of void, I can teleport myself only by thinking about the action plan. And in action plan, I wrote that I will teleport myself when I open that door into my astral temple. Now I will show you what I am writing about and how you can use it for your own good. I need to share a screen. I need to pray to my God if I'm remembering how to do this. So, let me see. How can I ask? Yes, this is a presentation of my screen. Can you see my desktop? Great. Now I will show you something which I draw, which will be very, very wonderful to see. I hope you can see this. This is my astral temple. I will give you an internet link. This is in fact Advanced Dungeons and Dragons map constructing for people who are playing AD&D and Forgotten Realms, and it can be used so you can build your own inner temple. In this part, it is my sleeping room. You see the bed exactly in position where my real sleeping room is. You are seeing my bookshelves and the position of my physical door. Now, when I open the door, I will come directly, you see a biggest room, cubic room, which is originally my astral temple. In the beginning, it was a circle where I can perform a ritual and do the meditations. We will talk about it lately, how to do and what to do. There is a stairs down which will lead to another room which I added lately, where I can find books which I need to have, when I can mixture potions, magical items to play and to enjoy real magic. In the north part, the green area, it's an astral garden. It is a place where I can just fly, enjoy the elves and gnomes, which are inhabits in the crosses of a tree. They are living in a tree, so it is always wonderful for me to transmutate myself to be a little elf, so I can fly and play with them all around this wonderful garden. In the right part of that garden was and is what I called observatory, because I don't need to go to some place to see it. I can just use a giant astral, telescope, so I can observe things in my lucid temple, having all clarity which that temple can give me. So I will have a really hours and hours of subjective feeling of time while I'm studying everything in my astral observatory. It is like having a scrying inside of a lucid dream. I don't need to go to scrying so I can scry. I just go to my astral library where I can instantly have power of maximum scrying capabilities. The little, you see my mouse where it is orbiting. This is a room for Tantra, and we will talk about it lately. Sexual activity in a lucid dream in your astral temple is something which is a part of my life, which is so wonderful that I simply cannot show you the level of amusement and miracle if you are invoking your goddess or your god and play with it, exploring your selfhood and your body with it together in a bed. It is something which simply, just imagining how deep that trance sex could be with divine god or goddess, which will come to your astral temple and play the universe with you in a bed. The right part, you see the big room with a pool. I call this part of my astral temple the pool of radiance. Whenever I need to heal myself, or when I don't have enough energy, I just go and be in that pool of radiance, which is not the liquid, but some kind of radiating energy which charges my battery and heal my physical body. Believe me, I am diabetic, 30 years. I eat sugar more than all people that I know, and I don't have problems, anything, anymore, in any way. Anything that I have problems in my health, I cure in a few minutes in that pool of radiance. Finally, the north part with a small bed you are seeing when my mouse is clicking. It is for my recently discovery when I want to have a dream inside a dream. And I will talk about it lately, how and in which way you can use it. Why is it so important? Because I reach a part of my being and a level of universe that I simply don't know how to express. I don't have a reason. I don't have a logical explanation of that kind of levels, but we will come everything to that side. Now I will talk about everything little by little, just to show you how to bring back now. Yes, this is it. That's it. So to say, a technical question: could you have this radiance in all places of your temple, and just assumption that when you enter there you are hearing and charging? This is all part of my spin. You are not constructing your lucid dream in a dream. You're constructing the dream lucid temple when you are start to draw about it, pretending that it is already built, but it is not. Diana, are you having a snow outside of your, or it is just a screensaver? I saw snow falling from outside. Okay, sorry. I thought it was snowing, but no. So, the main point is it will be like you are state your mind before the projection, playing with your mind that as you already know it. Like it is like some you're traveling from the past lives, and now you want to remember what it was. And your mind will not know that you are fooling yourself, writing about something which don't exist. It will think that it existed before it, so it will give you without any doubt, like taking for granted. It is a trick of your mind upon your mind, like, you know. So, yeah, okay. Now, the pool of radiance. Everything that you need to do in your lucid temple, your inner temple, should be exclusively your own, how to say, your own wishes and desires. If you have something, some perversity thought, which you cannot simply share with anybody, if you want to fuck with an animal, if you want to somebody rape your parts and limbs of your body, if you want to fuck a planet, if you want to kiss with dinosaurs, I don't know. Your inner temple, it's something as a playground of your mind, in a level that once you start to experiment, your mind will be so released that everything that you held inside of your being will be released. And this is important the first time you go to visit your astral temple. You need before, for 1 month, to draw everything in your as a sketch without going. I all my life, whenever I have a girl, I always have desire to meet her not day after we agreement, but a month after it, so I can just close my eyes and imagining me how it will be nice for us to have seen each other in 1 month, so I can live in a fairy tale fantasy waiting for that 1 month to come. And I experience more joy waiting for that lunch or dinner than in fact where finally shit happen and everything is ruined and I go to my house to cry and to curse all women and all women on this planet not having a decent relationship in this universe. I can have a divine goddess in my lucid temple, but I cannot find one normal girl in my physical realm. That's it. I really wanted to have enjoyment in waiting, not in attainment. Waiting, not attainment. This is what we are speaking about teleportating method. You need not to wait something, hardly expectation, desiring something. You need just to be cool and to check if this is something behind that door. If you desire something to happen, your mind will not let you have it. This is the part of your defense mechanism, because the Buddha, when wanted to go outside of a castle, what is the main motivation? So the Lord Buddha, Gautama, Siddhartha come to the world explore. Is it happiness? No, he was happy. Is it beauty? No. He saw that. He saw a funeral of a physical body which he never saw before. And this is the main motive which move selfhood to reach enlightenment. So, your reactive mind, your mother, don't want you to have that kind of trouble. Simply, when your heart starts to work and beat, your mind say, no, this is mistake. When you meet the man or woman that you want to sacrifice everything, your mind is turned on saying, no, even if this is a man for you, we will not make such a sacrifice, because for me, you are more important than that man. This is a way your reactive mind wants you for itself. Everything for yourself, but everything from yourself, in practical words. I'm jumping from everything so I can somehow make logically what is happening, and frankly, I don't know if I am certain about this. I'm just propose some theoretical points which, when you are doing practice, it's irrelevant. I don't care what is the essence of truth, unless I am experienced that truth inside my lucid dream. For me, it is the same. I'm just telling you, putting your mind into a spin, so later you will experience all this much easier than me. So, when you want to construct your temple, what is the first thing you need to do? First thing, nothing. Yeah, I know that everybody of you now wants to take the pictures and to draw and to imagining. No. We will fight with your mind with a weapon the mind cannot counterpart it. You will do without any doing. You will stop thinking about it, so your mind will think that you refuse to work, that you quit. After a while, after a week, 2, 3, the more is better. You will just take not special book because your mind will know it is special. You will just take some notes, maybe from newspaper, and you will start to build first room. Like in Minecraft, like kids playing the Minecraft. Just build the room. Will that room will be big or small? Maybe it will have a wood inside it, like a wooden cottage. Maybe it will be stone, with a fireplace. Maybe it will be like in Japan, Zen minimalistic way, with paper and the wood. Maybe it will be just a circle, like gigantic cube in a space, surrounded by stars. I don't know. You need to ask yourself what you would like to have it. Not like what you want to have. No. What you need to have it. Like you are building something you already know. Just release yourself, imagining that you have $1 billion. How would you do your house? Will you buy a house around the sea, around the ocean, maybe the cottage in the mountains, maybe the castle in the woods? Choose one room. Each day build another detail until you build the whole astral scenery. But I know what most of people want to ask me, and that is, how much time do I need to invest imagining? No, you don't need a time. You will have a time in a lucid dream to construct in 1 second everything that you want. You are not using the time for drawing, for constructing. You already constructed right now as I'm speaking these words, but you are not aware of it, because in a lucid dream there is no time corridor. There is no this moment or that moment. It will be in that time, that moment, without this Dushan talking. I will be a memory. All these words will be memory when you achieve attainment. But when you think about them in a dream, you will have instantly realization. You remember what we talk? You don't need to perform a ritual, so you will have attainment of ritual. You just need to remember what you wanted to have. And that's it. You have it instantly. You don't need to go to buy Big Mac or pizza. You just need to turn yourself to speak, and we will talk about these techniques, what you want to have, and when you speak, it will be behind your back. We will speak about it. It is a wonderful technique for invocations and evocations of entities. Now, this is the first job which I think it is important for you, because I don't want to speak anything else, because I will inflict your mind. I want you to do it in your own way, so you can see it with your own selfhood, with your own eyes, and to speak and to say, man, this is so wonderful that I can cry if I had eyes and tears in a dream, but you will not have them. Your joy will be so much that when you return to your body, believe me, most of you will divorce, quit on the job. You will find your perfect happiness knowing that there is a way you can materialize your desires from that space, and I will show you how. Everything that I had, every job, every girl, every car, and I have very, very expensive cars, from BMW, Audi, Mercedes, I have them. I have the most expensive cars without a penny of my work. Even now, whenever you want to talk with me, I don't have a work. I don't work. Everything is settled in my life in such a way that I put under so, how to say, subtle strings that somebody will say, he's a lazy man, don't want to work, and most of them are right. I put everything and connected in some spiritual way that I build perpetuum mobile, which in fact exists only in my mind, giving me energy so I can have everything without anything. Having everything without anything. The final attainment, it's quite opposite. Having anything without everything. That's the main point. And during your life, you will start to lose things, which you will get it by this way. And that would be final realization, that you will find out that from the start, you don't have anything. So getting everything, it's a part of your illusion, which yourself would create as a final toy, playing in the stars and the universe, realizing that you can have everything, only if you lose everything. That is something which everything of us will eventually learn, by the same fact that everybody of us will die. And lucid dream, it's a polygon where that attainment can be happen and experienced a little bit earlier than the time which is predestined for each and every of your soul. Now let us build a break. I talk without stopping for 1 hour, and I want to be to give you maybe 10 minutes of coffee break. So we will continue this way to show you what else you can do, how can you do ritual and meditational practices in this kind of a dream, and what you can expect from a dream to return to you. And of course, I hope that after this you will start to work and to exercise. If something is unclear, you can always write me so we can discuss. You must believe me, it is very difficult for me to speak all this time, to tell you everything, but in one way not to tell you everything so you can see everything with your own eyes, but to tell you enough so you can feel motivated. It is very difficult, almost impossible, but nevertheless I want to do it and I want to share it, because it is not mine, it is yours. So 10 minutes break and we are returning with the talk.